So why I see a big crash incoming in Philippines real estate, particularly Metro Manila, places like Makati, BGC, major cities, these condos that are being marketed to foreigners. I think things have got a bit out of control. If you look closely at the price per square foot, or square meters as we call it over here, a lot of these areas, the upscale areas, are on par with the United States, if not above. So you will think the Philippines is cheap. I can get a skyscraper for 500 bucks in BGC, or 800 bucks, or $1,000, you know. But if you look closely, we don't rent 200 square foot or 300 square foot high rises in the West, in America. It just doesn't exist. So I've had high rises in places like Las Vegas, and while they were double the price, they were triple the size. So that's where, you know, the problem lies, is that things have just gotten a lot of out of control with, you know, the foreigner marketed high rises. These are mainly purchased by foreigners or bought by wealthy Filipinos and rented to foreigners, and this is all foreigner driven. And I think with the current China situation, the Evergrande situation, and just the way that things are going, you're starting to see a lot of pushback on these prices. I've already noticed condos that were 10 million last year now going for 7 million. I've noticed, you know, condos that are worth 5.5 supposedly going for 4 million. I've noticed a lot of people dumping these condos. I've noticed a lot of condos that were pre-selling for more than they're currently selling for. Some of these condos are badly built and some are built well. But I think BGC, to be exact, like my condo that's 14 million, that's only renting to me for 45K, just doesn't really make sense. I think that if you're going to buy a place for 14 million, which I'm sure they bought it in pre-sale for 9.5, but if you wanted to buy it today, you'd pay at least 13.5. Having a tenant in there that's gonna, you know, get you about $600 after you pay your property taxes and your association dues is just a terrible, terrible, terrible move. So I think we're headed for a tumble in the bougie, skyscraper, foreigner marketed condo areas of Metro Manila, Cebu, even places like Boracay, which is a province, but like those New Coast property, the New Coast property, Boracay New Coast, and things of that nature. I just don't see that we can sustain these prices. There's a lot of foreigners that are moving to other countries such as Thailand, Bali, Bali, Indonesia, and many other places. So I think that there's going to be some pushback, and I think that there's always negotiation on the purchase price, the rental price, the 2-month deposits, the post-dated checks, the 2 months up front, the 2+2s, the actual rental and purchase price. If you're a owner, even if you're wealthy, if your place has been vacant for a couple of months, you're going to start to realize that, just because the neighbor across the way got foreigner price doesn't necessarily mean that the next foreigner is going to fall for it. I know people that are currently paying about $50,000 over what their condo is really worth because they got foreigner priced and they're wealthy and they didn't care and they didn't ask questions. Some people are paying 1-year leases up front. Some people are renting condos for, $150K. They're definitely worth 100. And the problem really is the square footage of the space that you get. When you're paying, $2,700 for 800 square feet, even if you're in BGC, it starts to not make sense, even if you have money to burn. So I think we're headed for a tumble. Some of these condos are just ridiculously priced in BGC, Makati, and all of the major cities have just gotten a little bit out of control. And it's basically all foreigner driven. The China situation is playing out, and I think at a certain point people will say enough is enough. And when your condo stays vacant for multiple months, or your condo stays on the market for a year, you're gonna realize that a price reduction is the only way to dump it. So I'm already seeing it. I think I will continue to see it. And if you're planning on buying, I would sit tight for 6 months to a year. If you're planning on renting, don't be shy to offer 15,000, 20,000, 30,000 less than they're offering, depending on if you're renting a condo for 40K or 150K. There's a lot of room there for negotiation, and there's a lot of vacant condos in Manila, Cebu, and many other areas. And the supply and demand is getting a little bit out of whack, to where there's way more supply than there is demand. And a lot of people are choosing to, build that house with their Filipina and just risk it under her name. A lot of people are choosing to move to other areas besides BGC, whether you move to Quezon City or Pasay or wherever. I just think that, BGC makes a lot of sense if you're ultra wealthy by American or Western standard metrics. BGC makes a lot of sense, if you can write off your condo as a workspace or something. But I do think that as much as I love BGC and I promote it, and I, have had many people probably move there partially because of my influence, I must admit that the price per square foot has gone completely insane. So renting is still a decent deal, but the buying price is just ridiculous when you look at the $250,000 condo that fetches, $700, $800 for the owner. So by all means, it's a good deal for some people. It's the cleanest, best area of the Philippines, with no regular housing and all skyscrapers when it comes to BGC. Makati's a mix of both, and you get a lot more bang for your buck from the rental perspective. And you can pick up a studio type or a one bedroom for about half what BGC is in some areas like Poblacion, buildings like Knightsbridge, etc. But it's even cheaper when you go outside of Makati, and it's obviously cheaper when you go to other areas. But I think the bubble is going to pop, and I think we're going to see a lot of price reductions on the buying end for sure, and also on the rental end. And it's not like America, where prices are firm sometimes. There's not a lot of wiggle room, and they're going to stick to their guns. They will definitely negotiate with you. Here, I've always negotiated. I've never got foreigner priced on any of the 5 or 6 condos I've rented. And I do have a background in real estate, and I'm a very good negotiator, and I always have been, and I've worked in those industries where negotiation is key. But no matter what, if you're looking for a condo to buy or rent, you can reach out to me and I'll tell you if the deal makes sense. You can reach out to me and I could negotiate on your behalf, or we could work something out. I just don't want to see people get locked into year leases, or worse yet, buy a place at way over what its really value, what its real value is, or certainly what its real value will be in about a year from now. As I said, I would sit tight for about 6 to 12 months, and some of these condos might reveal their true value. And if you got to buy right now, don't be afraid to make a low offer and let them counter you. If you're going to rent right now, there's a lot of wiggle room. When you get into that more expensive stuff too, you're getting into an elite market. If you're renting a 25, 30,000 peso condo, okay. But if you're renting a big boy condo for 150, 130, 100, you're in an elite class. You know what I mean? $57,000 a year US. You are in the top 1% in the Philippines. You're going to be above that if you're willing to spend, $24,000, $30,000 a year on your rent before you even pay a light bill or eat a piece of bread. So you're certainly in the driver's seat with that stuff. And I wouldn't buy anything in the next 6 months. Me personally, I wouldn't mind buying out here if the price is right on a cheaper condo, whether I made it an investment or whatever. But I'm definitely going to sit tight and see what unfolds, and I do anticipate a crash coming. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I go live every day in the morning Manila time. It varies from maybe 8 to 10 a.m. I have a membership group. The link is in the bio of any of the lives, or the about section of any of the lives. I do consultations. You can reach out to me at Jasperinthephilippines@gmail.com. Everything from your move to the Philippines, to this real estate stuff, to how to blow up on YouTube, to is your LDR scamming you, etc., etc. just here offering that service for anybody that's interested. For the members only, I do exclusive members only lives, and there's a ton of exclusive videos. All right, guys, sana all.